Hello again, this is Jeremy Arney, interim leader of the Canadian Action Party. And just before Paul and I take a rest from this little day's work here and go to the local pub and have a beer and some sausage or soup or something for lunch, I'm going to talk to you about something that's coming up fairly soon, and that is municipal elections. You might say, what's that got to do with federal government? Well, in actual fact, when you stop and look at it, the vast majority of what happens to you is not through your federal government, it's not through your provincial government, it's through your municipal government. They're the ones who dictate how much interest or how much tax you pay on your house, on whether the roads are good or bad, on whether the sewer flows or doesn't flow. They're the ones who look after the fire department, the police department. They're the ones who look after the garbage collection. They're the ones who do all the things in life that help to make it comfortable for you. I'm assuming you're comfortable. Now, you can look at it two ways. The first way is probably the most important elections for your family and for your home are the municipal elections, because they're the ones that have the biggest effect on your bottom line pocket. Yes, the federal and the provincial governments take their cut, but they really don't support the municipalities the way they should, so the municipalities have to take more from you than they actually need to. I can get back to that in a little bit. But another aspect of this municipal election coming up is here's a really good chance for you to practice. I know a lot of you think it's a bore, even thinking about voting. You're not interested. You don't want to know. Well, give it a try. Please, give it a try. At a level which is your neighbor. Your neighbor asking you to support you, him or her, in what he's going to do for you in your home. Now, we're not talking national here, we're not talking provincial, we're talking about right in your community. So do you want representation in your community? Do you want to practice representation in your community? Here's an opportunity to get out. Even if you just read the ads, go to some of the meetings, find out some of the things that are happening in your community that maybe you didn't know about. And if things they're not talking about that you want them to, get up and say something. This is part of the so-called democracy that we are told we have in Canada. Democracy begins with you. And democracy begins with you asserting your rights to have people representing you. And that won't happen unless you choose them to represent you and let them know that they are representing you. And if they don't, too bad. Now, I would say to all the people from Victoria who happen to be watching this, if there are any of you, and I imagine there are, you need to get rid of everybody in the CRD, that is the Capital Regional District, because they are drawn from the local municipalities, and they are going ahead with the most incredibly expensive, unnecessary sewage program without our approval. So if you want an opportunity now to say to all of them, with the exception of one gentleman whose name I can't remember, and that is terrible, but it's an old man's slip of you know what. Then if you want to say to them, I don't agree with what you're doing, don't put them on council, because if they're not on council, they're not on CRD. Get a fresh slate of CRD. And then when they're there, say to them, okay, now re-examine this incredible wasteful sewage program that you're talking about. That's just an example of what you can do on a local level. Practice. Practice at the local level. Then when the federal election comes around next year, you'll already be skilled at it. You'll know what you want to know about, what you want your representative to do. And you'll be in much better shape. But most important, for those of you who are older and have never voted, you will be looking after your children and grandchildren. For those of you who just have children, you'll be looking after them. For those of you who are not yet parents, but you're of the voting age, I'm talking directly to you now. This is your world, and you need, I beg of you, you need to take advantage of the opportunities you're given to have your say. Your say is where we go from here. So please, start with a municipal and work your way up. And if you need any more advice, any more help, if you want any more information, we're here to help you. Canadian Action Party, Party of the People. Thank you very much.